Some thoughts on the Stormers against the Sharks. These URC derby matches the last 2 weekends have been absolutely belting. And this was another one. Well, I was going to say a classic. The first half was not a classic. The second half kind of was. And I did know the result of this game before I went back and watched it, because I was watching Edinburgh against Glasgow. Video on that is in the channel right now. I did watch, because the Glasgow-Edinburgh game finished a little earlier, I did watch the last 10-12 minutes of the Stormers v Sharks game, and that was awesome. I went back and I've watched the whole thing now, and there you go, 24 points to 20, a full 5 points for the Stormers, who move up into 8th position in the URC table with a game in hand over most of their opponents. The Sharks in 6th, and the Stormers doing some good things after a really difficult start to the season. There's lots and lots to discuss on this one, which is exactly what I want to get into, and I'd love to know your thoughts. So please give the video a thumbs up, leave your comments down below, and hit subscribe. What did you make of this match? As I say, the derby games in the URC, I love that they do this around the Christmas period. I mean, just it helps out the fans. In the case of, I mean, I know there's a big distance between Durban and Cape Town, but talking about the derbies more so in Wales and Scotland and Ireland helps the fans out. But it just creates something a bit more meaningful and a bit more edge on it for these games, when everyone gets a chance to just down tools and sit and watch. And anyone who watched this game would have been thoroughly entertained, particularly, like I say, by the second half of the match. Just look at the results in the URC the last couple of weekends, how tight and tense matches have been, how many games have been within one score. And this was another one, and it went right down to the last minute. Although I will say, and just on my overall takeaways of the game, if you're a Springbok fan, you must have been watching this game. If you're a Stormers fan, you would have been loving it. Sharks fan, you would have been tense. Just taking that hat off and putting your Springbok hat on, you must have been thinking, stop injuring all our players, because it's a real concern. Sasha FM, my favourite radio station, again going off injured, and it's starting to form a little pattern here, and you hope it doesn't persist, and that he can get a run of games fit and just get himself right. I don't know if it's the way he plays the game, because he's actually a really brave rugby player. He runs hard lines and runs into contact and puts in big shots. And sometimes you just want to say, let other people do that, Sasha. The magic of you is the fact that you can do the things that other people can't do. Send someone else trucking it up into heavy traffic. I kind of love that he does do that, but another occasion today where and again, consecutive weeks now where he's just taking big shots, and it is a worry and it is a concern. Weekend special as well, Apaleli Fassi going off injured, Andre Esterhuizen going off injured, Herschel Yankees going off injured. Less of an issue from a Springbok point of view, but the other three, concerns. So we'll wait and see and hope that they're all fairly well. Also, big takeaways. First half was quite hard to watch. Second half burst into life. It did look, because there was lots of talking points, and bearing in mind that there's been high-profile moments with, like, Mac Hansen last week, talking in a press conference very publicly about officiating and things he didn't agree with. Very outspoken, which rugby players don't tend to be. And I don't know if you sensed it. I definitely got the sense, listening to Sia Khaleesi in his post-match interview, that he was pulling some punches. Whether that was ones aimed at officials, whether that was ones aimed at teammates, I don't know, but he looked frustrated and was taking control of his emotions and not letting that bubble out. But yeah, I can understand if they will be frustrated, feeling like the game should have been theirs. And I think probably the biggest summary is Stormers dealt with their injuries and players falling out of the team, being injured or whatever. They dealt with that better than the Sharks did, albeit the Sharks have got a lot of players not there and injured, a big chunk of their squad unavailable, and possibly a couple more to add to the rehab list as well, which is a concern. Stormers were marginally better. I'd say they probably did deserve the win, but it could have gone Sharks' way, and Sharks will probably look back at the tape on that and feel like it should have been theirs. And I wonder if Sharks fans will be hurting that the man who scored the winning try, Jean-Luc Duplessis, was the guy who was arguably lucky not to face more repercussions when an illegal clear-out caused Andre Esterhuizen to have to leave the field. I wonder if maybe that was the the point that Sia Khaleesi could have made but didn't make. But interesting. So as for the game, I'd like to tell me your thoughts overall in the comments down below. As for the game, tight first half, errors, issues, forward passes, knock-ons, quite tight and edgy. Quality wasn't quite there. Jordan Hendrickson with a penalty to put the Sharks ahead. Senatia with the try on comeback off of a Warwick Hallant kick. Brilliant moment for him. 5-3 up. It stayed that well until the half hour. Big shots going in all over the shot. Try for the Sharks though, and good use of a solid set piece. Rugby can be quite easy sometimes. Get a solid scrum, run a strike move, Penksy scoring, and 10-5. The Sharks are up. Or was it 8-5? I wasn't sure at first. Did that conversion go over? Did it not go over? They haven't given the score. They have given the score. Anyway, they gave the conversion. The two Springbok 10s, Libbok for the Stormers, Jordan Hendrickson for the Sharks. Really interesting battle that was, and two very similar players in the way that they can attack the line. If there's a little chink in the armour of a defence, they'll see a gap and they'll go, and both of them were doing it, and that made for quite a fun game with some moments. The Sharks were showing a bit of grit that maybe they've lacked, particularly when in that game against Leicester in the Champions Cup, and at times they can be hot and cold. They were away from home and showing a bit of grit in this one. I also want to mention Salman Murat, who looks like he has stabilised the Stormers set piece a little bit as well. I think he's had a big impact since being back and around. Knock-ons, more knock-ons. I've just made some notes. More knock-ons, more forward passes, more injuries. Stop-start. Big shots going in though. Franz Malherbert dominating scrums. Half-time, it was 5 points to the Stormers, 10 points to the Shark, but not before a massive moment. Just before half-time, I thought this could be potentially game-defining. A penalty and a yellow card against Ethan Hooker. Stormers maul was in motion, trundling towards the line. Hooker goes in, not the back of the line out, and takes the ball down. The referee says illegally and is given a yellow card. Now, what I don't understand here is either Ethan Hooker was illegal, went in at the side and stopped what looked to me like a certain try. Stormers were going over. So either it's yellow card, penalty, try, or it's they'd splintered off from the maul, so Ethan Hooker's well within his rights to take the man that he did. Either of those I would have been happy with. I think there's an argument that it was a different maul. They'd splintered off the side and Ethan Hooker just hit the first man coming round the corner. I'm fine with that. I kind of can go with the decision that it was illegal as well. But if that is the case, I do not understand how you gave the penalty and the yellow card, but not a yellow try. Not a yellow try. No, not a penalty try. So there we go. Anyway, it was 5 points to 10 at half-time. The Stormers did get their try in the end. And it was... no. They thought they'd scored a try, I should say, on 53 minutes. Maul going over. And it was it Devet was going to be scoring that one? I can't remember. But it gets chalked off because of an illegal clear-out from Jean-Luc Duplessis. The decision got reversed. Penalty against the Stormers. Andre Esterhazen, and at the same time Apalele Fassi going off. And I think this was the key moment in the match. I mean, if Stormers go over and score that one, that could have been a turnaround for them. Equally, Esterhazen and Fassi being taken out of that Sharks back line, they didn't look the same after that point. Although, they had their moments. Stormers do eventually score from a maul, and it was Brannis, Dion Free on his second game back in front of his home crowd. It's 10 points all, 54 minutes gone. Misconversion means it's all square. Back and forth at this point. Both teams have got chances. Sia Khaleesi goes off with cramp. That's another big moment in terms of the leadership. You've taken Fassi off. Esterhazen's come off. And now Khaleesi as well. Neithlim Fashir wins a scrum penalty. Massive moment, that one. Stormers managed to exit. That was big. And then from the resulting attacks, Stormers score a try on 68 minutes. Offloads a stick in. Libbok sees a gap, takes it under the sticks, converts his own try, and the Stormers are up 17-10. But that is far from the end of it. Stormers cannot close this game out because Sharks are in the Stormers 22 and attacking. And what a try from Jordan Hendrickson, made by his brother. Jaden Hendrickson sees the little short off-the-shoulder line that his brother's running. Looks as if he's going to make the pass. Dummies a pass flat and wide, and then looks at the defenders, no look lift to his brother through the hole. Absolutely brilliant try. Jordan Hendrickse, ice cold, nails the conversion. 8 minutes to go, and it's all square at 17 all. And Hendrickse shows more nerve again by hitting a penalty. Brilliant turnover at the breakdown from Manu Chichuka, and the Sharks are ahead 20 points to 17. They've been ahead. They've lost the lead. They've taken it back again, and now there is only, 5 minutes left. But they cannot keep field position and territory. They give up a penalty, which gives Stormers field position, and the try comes from Jean-Luc Duplessis. A clutch moment for the Stormers. Another brilliant maul, and their set piece with Maloba at scrum time, Murat at the line out, guys like Dion Ferry in there and all that experience. The 12, 13 men that ended up in the maul for the Stormers, and over it trundles with the man who had caused a try to be disallowed, making amends, atoning for that with the winning try, although Sharks fans might feel quite aggrieved that he put one of their key men off the field as well in that same moment. Thoroughly enjoyed that game. And full disclosure, kind of wish I'd watched that one instead of Edinburgh v Glasgow. But because I was going to be going to Murrayfield, I felt duty-bound to watch the 1872 Cup as it is. I've seen both of the games now, and there we go. My review on that game in the channel. I would love to know your thoughts. Give the video a thumbs up, hit subscribe, keep an eye out for more rugby content coming on the channel very soon, and I'll see you on the next one.